Hello, hello. This is Pat with Petresca Papers, and I'm out in the Bluebird Bungalow this morning, and I've got a plan, but I don't have a prototype to show you, but we're going to dive right in. This is for more junk in the trunk. And I'll link the playlist below in case this is your first time here. And I would like to say welcome if it is, and welcome back if you are one of my subscribers. I hope that what I do today will inspire you. This is my trunk, and we've been making junk for it. I have more space, so on we go. And today we've been doing little pockets, and our pockets need some tags. For instance, this one, which is the paper clip that would go on your page like this, we need some smaller tags, and we have, come off. We have these wraparounds that would wrap around your page like this, and we need some taller tags, or could use some taller tags. So that's my goal today. Tag your it. All right, I want to use all junk mail, repurposed items. Today I may draw from snippets that are digital kits or scrapbook paper, but mostly and that would be more the embellishment that we would do. I want to do the tag with some mailers, and some are heavier than others. This one, which one was I looking at? This one's quite thin, and we're going to do some fun things with that. Now, some of the things I have got to play with, I have brought to play with or collected. I've got some packing paper, and this is quite thin. It's not as thick as a grocery bag, I don't think. No. Grocery bag is quite a bit thicker. This is some grocery bag from the other day. Seems a bit thinner, and it's all wrinkly, which is just what I want. I've got some old book pages out of a book that I took apart like this. I think this is an old Reader's Digest. Yeah, an old Reader's Digest from 1991. That's not old, but it's discolored. And just some music paper. I've got a piece of notebook paper that I tea or coffee stained a while ago. And I found this. I can't even remember doing this. I think it was a really, really light coffee stain and all wrinkled. I want that. And then this is some burlap. I don't know how this is going to go down, but this is some burlap that came wrapped around some flowers that my niece sent me. And I'm really excited. Ooh, look at that neat stuff. The off fray. I am going to try to use this to cover one of the tags, and I think that's what we're going to do first. Now, this could be fabric or canvas if you don't have burlap, if this works. If it doesn't work, you might not even want to think of this. So I'm thinking I want to cover, where was that one that was thinner? I think it's this one. And it's got a really nice hard plastic card, almost like, well, it is. It feels like a charge card. And we're going to do something with that that will be helpful to us. And I'm sure you've seen it, and if you haven't, I'm excited that I'll be able to show you that. But I'm just going to set that over here for now. So here's our first victim. And I'm thinking that we're going to be able to see, it's not too bad. This, you definitely could see through it. We'll put the burlap on this side and do something else on this side. And I'm thinking maybe do this something else first. So burlap, hold on. We'll be back. All right, let's see. What have I got? You know, I've got a lot of these book pages, and they're almost the right size. I really don't care if I have to. Oh, and you know what? Let's use all of it, and then we'll just grab a piece of something else on that side. All right, I'm going to use glue stick. Okay, because I want a good adherence, and I need something to glue on. What am I going to use? What am I going to use? I haven't used any of my stash down here. Okay, let's do this. Let's use this. Oh, did I really want to use that as a glue book? No, I think I was going to tear that apart. All right. Come on. Somebody step up. There we are. Okay. So, on we go. Let's get a good amount of glue on here. Much easier to put it on whatever you're going to glue to than onto the paper, because the paper is quite fragile and it would tear, I'm just sure. Okay, oh, got a glop of glue in there. No, tear it, tear it. What is that? The glue? Is the glue really that? The paper really that weak? Okay. And we did put some on here, didn't we? Okay. Let's put, I got something here from our last big enough? No? Okay. Just do that and come back in and put some glue underneath it. That's there. And some glue along there. And along there. All right. You're glued. Now, that kind of bothers me right there. You know what? If it bothers you, take it out. That was something else. Oh, it feels almost like, you know, that glue we peel off. Let's just stick. Like a little bit of collage. Which side? That one. Remove the book, the glue book. Come back. All right. Just like that. Now, let's trim this off. Thought I would glue it around, but I think I'm just going to trim it off. And like that. I'm going to keep these. I do have an idea of what to do with offcuts. All right. Let's give this a nice, there's that, whatever it is again. I think it's what I rubbed off of that card. Some of it fell on the desk and I didn't see it. All right, that's nice. And I think I'm going to distress this. Well, I don't have the burlap on this side. Burlap, come back. Here we go. Now, you know, this could be a wash. Ooh, look how pretty that is. Do I want to use that part? No, I like this over here, I think. I want that writing on it. I don't think I can rip this. And it seems like what we used to do was decide where we wanted to cut the burlap and pull a thread. Well, that isn't going to work. All right, where am I going to cut you? I want some fringe or some fray. Okay, let's go right. I have a feeling I was off camera there, but there's nothing exciting happening off camera, just me cutting, the beginnings of my cutting. All right, we're done with you unless this piece is so bad we don't use it. All right, so now let's do some fray around. I think, let's see, we'll trim some of that off after we've got it glued down. So glue, what are we going to glue with? Do you think glue stick? Well, we can try glue stick, can't we? All right, let's try glue stick since it's right here and I have something to glue on. Let's try it. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, those words under there I don't think are bad. Okay, here we go. Really nice sloshy glue all the way around the edges. How is everybody? It's been a week since I was last with you. Not much has happened here. I'm still recuperating from my hip surgery slowly. Boy, the day I do physical therapy, I am whipped the next day. But you got to keep going. Gotta keep going. Now we're going with the lettering. I think I want to lay this on to, okay, I want to expose that fray. Okay, let's see if glue stick is going to be good enough. Never glued burlap to a piece of junk mail before. What is that? That's above that. That's okay. It's not okay. Keep it there. Because as we cut this, because this is not one big tag. This is going to be several smaller tags, and where I've got the white peeking up there, you don't have to use it. That seems to do pretty good on there, actually. All right. Okay. We're going to set this aside to dry. I don't want to start cutting that immediately, so we're going to set that over here to dry and be a little stiffer to cut. Okay, let's do this. Packing paper. So I've got all kinds of tears. I don't need this big a piece to work with, so I'm going to tear it into a smaller, manageable size. And I think that will be you. And I think I'm not throwing away. It's great for collaging. I think that I'm just going to tear this in half and use half of it. All right. So I've got wrinkles, but I want more wrinkles, so I'm just going to scrunch it up and unscrunch it, flatten it out a little, and see where I need some more scrunches in there. So let's start there and get some nice small scrunches, wrinkles. All right. And see, this is thinner when if you're doing this with garbage bags or paper bags, you can do a little bit of water to soften the paper up. This one is very soft. I don't think I really need to worry about putting any water on this, which is a plus since I don't have to have it dry. Right. That looks pretty good. All right, now let's put this. I did not cut it big enough for my large one, so it's going to be this one. All right, and I think glue stick. You are the glue of the hour today. Doesn't matter which side. You know, I think that I may... No, I'm just going to cut it off. All right, here we go. Let's do the same thing. Let's put it down on it so we can see our edges. Let's go right up to that edge. And that edge. That one's quite a straight edge anyway. All right. Go. Bone folder. This card that we took off. Ooh, we slid over, didn't we? We still can move. Maybe have some wrinkles, but oh, that's what we like. Well, we like wrinkles on paper. Let's say that, okay? This can be a spreader. So if you don't have a bone folder, this can help to spread things out. Okay, now I want to be a little more gentle on this side. I don't want to get too many of those wrinkles flat. Okay, and let's trim it off. Now I could have distressed and done some things to this crinkled paper ahead of time and just had it in my stash, which is really good to have. I think I saw Joey Duffy do that. That might have been one of the first videos I've seen of hers. if I can find that video, I will link it below. She's not been doing very many videos as of late, which I miss. I miss her a lot. She's very creative. That looks good. Let's do this side. And what should we do on this side? We're going to do the music paper. Where are you? No, we're not. We're going to use the music. Yeah, no. All right, Pat, make up your mind. I'm going to use this. Okay? Okay. I sure wish you guys would talk to me. You know, I was watching, gosh, what was I watching? Something. Oh, it was one of my old videos that I think, I don't know if it's a new subscriber, but one of my subscribers made mention, you know, it's great to see all the kits and the digitals, but, you know, do more junk mail things. And, you know, because everybody has junk mail. Everybody has, well, I don't know if everybody has old books to tear up, but you've definitely got packing tape or paper, and you've got grocery bags. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to get out here today and try to do the base at least for everything today using repurposed or junk mail or junk. Because it's true, it's an easy thing to just say, okay, let's just use this digital kit and let's see what we can come up with. You know, and follow instructions. But it's really fun to just kind of go loose and free with things that you've got on hand. Okay. I got that. I'm feeling that I did not get glue right along there. I'm just going to get art glitter glue and get that edge. Once we trim it, we'll see if the other edges need some too. Okay, let's do some trimming. This pattern on this coffee dyed paper is a aluminum pan from, okay, you guessed it, Dollar Tree. If you're not in the US, I'm sorry. I know you like, I don't want to hear that. But you can look at different texture. But the aluminum pans were so good because, you know, I could lay the paper into the coffee solution and then put it on the aluminum pan, and it would go right in the oven and give it this really nice coffee stain pattern. Okay. How are my edges? I do have some edge issues here. So much for my heavy-duty glue stick job, huh? Let's bring you back. Okay, how's your edges? You're good. Let's see, over here. Is that the one we did already? It's a little bit there. I guess what I can do is wait till I've cut this up, and then we'll doctor it up. Okay. And again, I'm going to let this dry, and we're going to do one more with this and music paper. And that will cover everything that I brought out, which is amazing, right? or that I gathered. I didn't bring it out. All right. Okay, let's do this big one. I don't think that blue, no, that's thick enough paper. It won't show through. They're both about the same thickness. Now I've got this that's been out here for a while. Are you too long? You're a bit longer. What else have I got that I've brought out in the past? These are way long. I'm going to save those because those can make good covers for. I'm going to use this. Let's use that. All right, glue stick. This time I am going to be mindful of my corners, or my edges and the corners. Give the edges a really good coverage, and then move to the center. All right. Okay, so today is Friday. It's the weekend. Now, I know for some people the weekend means something, but if you work and have to work the weekend, I'm sorry. I know, what a bummer. I worked at Delta in reservations, and I rarely had weekends off. It seems that I couldn't pull a shift with my seniority that gave me weekends off. But now that I'm retired, yes, I'm retired. You know, we don't do face-to-face with you very often because at this hour of the morning I look pretty awful. Pretty awful? Just awful, okay? But I am retired. COVID helped that happen for me. And now, other than, you know, churches on the weekend and events happen on the weekend, you know, it's pretty much Saturday is just another day. I know, I'm not going to rub it in. I'm rubbing in the glue. All right, now, oh, that's not even glued on. That's my part to trim. Okay, let's trim. Let's just go straight down that one. Just trim along here. And let's do a little more this. Now, I know I did. I'm sure I did. You saw me put glue really good on the edges. So much for that, huh? Guess we need to check all of them because that's just not acceptable. I don't know if it's that waxy finish on the junk mail. It could be. All right, that's good. Now, let's do, I'm not really concerned about direction. This is just going to be a little bit of a quick collage. I don't want as much white on there. I'm gonna just, oh, we can trim it off. Go right there. And then how about split page there? Yeah, I think we'll take off a little of this right there. cut off. I don't think that is big enough, is it? Well, let's tear it off and we'll put another piece of something else there. While we're at it, let's take some of this. Right. So we'll glue that on, and we'll glue that on right there like that. So we need something else. Let's use are you big enough? No. Be nice to use some of what we've already crumpled, but none of that is big enough. So we'll just come up with one more crumpled piece here. Or do we want to use, we're going to use that. Hey, not throwing away. It's very tempting once you crumple it. It's just going to go in my stack. Okay, we'll put this on last. So let's put this. I don't know. I don't like all that white up there. That's okay. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's glue. And once we have this glued, we're going to start chopping it up, chopping up the other ones. Okay, so how much glue? Down to about that 0 there. Let's get along those edges. Okay. To the non-glued side, let's do, well, it's not that, so let's go right, now we'll trim you off, right there. Okay, come here. What is this? J.G. Wentworth. I don't know if you've got J.G. Wentworth in other countries. A lot of commercials for J.G. Wentworth. I don't even understand what J.G. Wentworth is. I probably should have read that junk mail thing. I might be interested. Not. All right. Now, under here is the piece of book page. Dang, I wanted to have that underneath there. Okay. Thank you, glue stick, for being forgiving. Okay. I need another clean piece. We're just going to go with the whole thing. And I think my thought that this would be last is going to change. I'm going to put that on here now. We can trim it off. Okay. Where are you now? Where's my little card? Set this right on top of it. No. Where did it go? Honestly, there it is. Under the book page. And then this is going to slide up under there. And, well, evidently you're not overlapping. You are going to butt up against it. That's okay. That's okay. All right. I don't know if I got enough glue on there. Not there. All right. Let's do some trimming. So this is in a very loose way, kind of a master board for tags. I'm not doing a lot of collaging, but I could, you could, and then it would be a really interesting piece to cut up for tags. But mine is just, I wanted to keep it simple and quick for you, give you some inspiration. This is one of those things you really could actually do all these boards prior, you know, as you're sitting watching TV or have them ready, and then you could just start cutting out your tags. You're watching TV. Okay, let's do that. All right, off to dry for you. Let's grab our burlap. Kind of excited to see what this does. Okay, here we go. Unfortunately, we're going to lose that on there. I think we're going to cut on this side. So I'm going to do this as a small tag. And I want them to be even and not crooked. So I am going to give myself some guidelines there. Let's cut that off and see how that looks on that other side. I'm not sure how my trimmer would do with burlap, so I'm not going to try it with that. Let's make this tag about that wide. We'll use this card as a measuring tool. We'll also get all those edges because that's where I go bad. It's right at the start. Okay, let's jump in here. Okay, there's a tag. Fringe needed to be trimmed off just a little bit. Okay, it looks like a magic carpet. Got that. And I think I'm going to cut if I do one more, I'm going to do one more and then we'll do two out of that. Okay? I was tempted to leave it long, but we'll get some long tags out of the other junk mail that we've covered. Okay. Damn, I think I cut very straight. Okay, a little trim off of that fringe or fray. Okay, and then that is almost, but we're just going to figure out half. So what is that? Let's make them 2 inches. Not quite 4 inches, is it? Well, we'll make 1, 2, and then whatever the other one is, it will be. Let's see if I can draw a straight line. That is always debatable. Okay, let's trim this be a little less outlandishly frayed. Okay, and you. All right, these are ready for something. Let's do this one next. And this one, I think I will try my trimmer. That'll be much faster. I won't have to measure. And this one, I think I'm going to do, I think I need to put the lid on my glue is what I need to do. There we go. All right, let's do, so how big are you? 8 inches. So we'll do 4-inch tags. Ooh. Well, let's cut it in half. So I think 4 is a good size, or do we want it bigger? I'm going to do 5.5. I'm going to do a tall tag. So here's a tag. Set that there. And then I'm going to do what, 3 inches? No, we're going to go 2.5. That's going to be so skinny. Well, it is what it is. There's a tag, and let's cut you in half. You ended up being 5.5. Let's do 2 3/4, and these will just be some tiny tags. All right, last. We're not going to look at that side. However we cut it will be a surprise. So your measurements are 6 inches. We want, I'm going to cut it in half, and it's 9, so let's go 4.5 like that, and then let's do these as 2-inch tags. Okay. And this one, let's do, what are you, 4.5, 2 3/4, no, 2 1/4. Yeah, we'll just make those, have a long one with that, and then let's cut this in half. At 3 inches. All right. Thank you for your help. All right. Now, let's see who. We're going to make a tag out of you for our junk in the trunk. That one of these little ones, and you. And you. And these will go in my stash because I think this many will fit in my junk trunk. All right. Now I have, where is it? That's not it. There it is. I have a card that I have different corners cut. So let's do that with this J.G. Wentworth. Okay, I am going to cut that, and then I want maybe one that's longer, and maybe just a really small one right there. I could do the other side too, and it looks like I have on that card. And we'll do like that. Okay, so let's see, for this big one, I think I'm going to use that longer one and just hold it up there and trim it off. And then you just flip this over and do the same thing on that side. Right, and cut. Let's do this smaller one here. Flip it over. Oh, the days of me just picking something up and I'd cut the corner, and then you have to pick up the corner and put it on. This is so much easier. I do want a rounded corner on somebody. Who do I want a rounded corner on? Because I did have an idea for that, where you would take something round that you've got. It's not too huge, like a piece of, let's try that tape. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. All right, like that. And so what I'm doing is just tracing these corners out to be rounded. And like that. Okay. A rounded one. And this one, you know, I don't think I'm even going to put a tag shape on it. I think I'm going, oh, we didn't even look to see what we got from that cutting. What did we get? Let's take a look. We didn't look at the other side. Well, nothing exciting. It's almost like I cut right where the papers were without even looking. Wow. All right, this one, I'll use that little corner there. Flip that over. And again, this is not my brainchild. I can't remember where I saw it first, but a big help, a big help. That goes in my tools. Sorry, we need to distress. Okay, I am not going to go through putting an eyelet in. I think you either can put eyelets in or you won't. You'll just punch a hole. And I am not going to decorate these, you guys. These are going in my trunk for future projects. But when I do, I'll be using little labels and different things. I just wanted to address using our junk mail today. You know, this is a new vintage photo, Distress Oxide, and I swear it is not the same as my old one that dried up, and I'm not sure I like it as much. I may have to get my one out of the house and try it. Okay, one more. I don't know if it's like paint you know, you have a different die lot. Okay, and I don't know, do I want to punch holes? I do want to talk about a couple of ways to attach things. I don't have some ribbon here. I do have this. I'll use this. I'm going to cut me a small piece of ribbon. This is some silk sari strips that I created, but you can punch your standard hole and put this through it, but I am going to use a stapler and staple this. Actually, I think I'm going to do it. Do I have my big stapler? I don't. This is an interesting thing you can do. You can, if your ribbon is the same size as your stapler, you can staple around that, and then you can tie just a knot. But I don't think I have my big stapler out here. So we're just going to go with the tiny one right here. Just reach in, make sure I'm in the center, staple that on, and of course the holes. I have a neat new tool that I don't think it's out here. It punches kind of like an oval in it. Let's do some holes with the crocodile so that they have their holes at least. And I've got things stuck in there. All right, there, and we'll do that. Come out. I'm doing the larger hole. I like the larger eyelets. And right there. All right, I think that's as far as I'm going to take you today, guys. Let's put them in the trunk. All right. Let's see. I think slide each of you down in there. All right. Ooh, our trunk is getting junky and trunky. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me if you'll give me a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to know when I'm out in the Bluebird Bungalow creating. I'd love to hear from you with a comment. Please have a great day. I'll be back with at least probably one more installment in this playlist of Junk in the Trunk. Okay? Hey, take care. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.